What's going on, YouTube? Got another knife review here for you. Today we're going to be looking at the Marty Young. This is the Ursus model, URSUS. Marty Young is a custom maker out of Kentucky, Vanceburg, Kentucky. I'm from the Midwest, but I've never never heard of that town, so I think it's a pretty small town in Kentucky. This knife I heard about it through Darkchild57, one of the knife channels that really got me into knives. He had a crazy collection, all kinds of Spydercos and Benchmays that got me hooked on knives. And so he finally ended up getting into some custom knives. Long after I started getting into custom knives, but it was just cool to see him kind of moving forward in his knife collection. And he got this knife, not this one, but it was a different Marty Young Ursus, and it kind of turned me on to it. And so later on, this came up in the forums, and I was like, man, this is an awesome version of the Ursus. So I jumped at the opportunity to get it. I pulled out some of these other high-end makers, again, outside of the Sebenza. I guess you could consider this high-end too. Here you got the Fellholter. This is the FLG. Brought it out because you can see my love and infatuation for titanium bolsters and carbon fiber scales. The Kirby Lambert right here and this stock Schiffer have lightning strike carbon fiber, whereas the Fellholter and the Ursus have just regular carbon fiber. Both the Lambert and the Ursus are featuring, I guess you consider it a liner lock version, so it has bolsters and carbon fiber on both sides, whereas the Fellholter is a frame lock, as well as the Schiffer right here. So this is one of my favorite looks in terms of knives. I love bolsters. I love titanium bolsters. If I had the money and had the connections to get some custom makers, I would definitely do something like Damascus bolsters and whatnot. But for the time being, I'm happy with my collection. I'm not discontent in any way, shape, or form. So just continuing to truck along, and as I see certain things as they're available, it just catches my eye. So anyway, Marty Young, I think, is a up-and-coming custom maker. There's not a lot or a ton of work right now as of May. This is May of almost June of 2014. There was another Marty Young on the forums on USN, but you don't see them all too often. And he's when I was looking at his webpage, he sounds like a very accommodating custom maker. He's basically, whatever kind of style or blade size you want, he's definitely more than accommodating. So I think if you were to want a, say, bigger style Ursus, it wouldn't be too hard to get it, as well as get on his books here. But this Ursus here is a 3.25 inch length blade. This one is featuring Chad Nichols blackout Damascus. When you look at the pattern of this Damascus, it is beautiful. I know Chad Nichols has all kinds of different Damascus styles. I have one of his Damascus patterns on my lion steel, the iguana pattern. It's very I guess you could say that it has a kind of set pattern in there, whereas the blackout is a little bit more random, and again, it has a lot more of the black areas, I guess, hence the name. But I really like the contrasting lines in this blade. I think it really stands out a lot. Again, featuring kind of orange peeled and I guess not polished, but at least kind of satin finished titanium bolsters versus, say, the bead blasted kind of bolsters here. The Fellholter here is a little bit more polished as well, so this is kind of a fingerprint magnet. But yeah, anyway, so you got blackout Damascus, you have a thumb disc deployment, you have a harpoon tip on this one, and then again carbon fiber scales. This is the worst part of this blade. You know, it's just a very simple steel clip. I'm actually going to contact Marty to see if it'd be possible to get some kind of better, you know, milled out clip or something. Because this is the only real thing that's a detraction from this knife. Because this is the favorite part right here. When you look at the spine of the blade or spine of the knife handle, you see the red line or G10 underneath the carbon fiber, and then for the spacer you have a carbon fiber with red G10 line in the middle. I think it's just awesome. The contrast right there that you see in that shot, I think is just phenomenal. So really just makes it stand out on this knife. Overall construction, I mean, there's, you know, no blade play, solid construction on this knife. Not the smoothest knife. This runs on, I believe it's just small, you know, it looks like it's Teflon, Teflon washers, small Teflon washers in there. You know, compared to, say, this Kirby Lambert runs on Teflon washers as well. But this is one of the smoothest knives, not on bearings, in my collection. The other one would be this, you know what, all three of these are pretty smooth. The Fellholter is also really smooth. This one is running on, I think this is on phosphor bronze washers. Yeah. Also extremely smooth. And then this Schiffer that I just did a review on also is extremely smooth on Teflon washers. So, you know, maybe, I don't know if it's not broken in or whatever, or just needs to be greased. It's just not, it's still smooth. I don't feel like there's anything that's catching in there, but it's just definitely not as smooth as these other knives. So I don't know, maybe just, you know, still he's definitely a good custom maker, but maybe not quite at that top tier level as, say, someone like Lambert and Fellholter. I'm not sure where I'd classify Schiffer at. I think there's a high demand on Schiffer, but I don't know if I would classify him necessarily as highly as like Fellholter or Kirby Lambert. But anyway, yeah. So Marty Young, he's got I think 7 different models of knives, like from Wharncliffe to hunting knives and whatnot. None of them are super huge in terms of like blade length, but again, I think you can just, you know, have him play around with the blade size and stuff like that. And like I said, he's probably more than accommodating to you know, make something that would fit your preference and style. So anyway, I just wanted to get his name out there in conjunction with Darkchild 57. You know, again, like even here, you know, the lines on this little indentation for your finger, you know, for deployment, I mean, it is absolutely seamless. You know, they talk about super high-end custom makers that, you know, make things seamless. Like again, this transition here is I only feel like I can feel it because the carbon fiber is a little bit more raised, you know, which is fine. I know a lot of custom makers have raised carbon fiber just to fill out your palm a little bit more. But for the most part, that transition right there is pretty seamless, you know, and they're both smooth. So I really don't feel it. On the top, I can feel a little bit of a seam, but you know, probably not as good as, again, as the Kirby Lambert, or even the Fellholter is the Fellholter is perfect. But at the same time, this is dovetailed in there. So I mean, I guess that even makes it harder. But yeah. So anyway, just getting Marty Young's name out there again. I think he's a great up and coming maker, and definitely one to check out for sure. So yeah, I mean, let me know what you guys think on the comments down below. As always, thank you for watching my videos and for all your support. Please do comment and subscribe and like if these videos are helpful for you, and or just, I don't know, if they're just entertaining for you. Alright guys, thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys on the next vid. Take care. Bye.